So a couple months ago, I'm visiting Miami, hanging out with some cool dudes, doing podcasts, filming content, having a good time. And it's the last day of the trip. I'm at this cafe called Ojo de Agua, having this delicious acai bowl, some tacos, and I noticed this guy next to me. I'm not really paying attention to him, but I notice he seems agitated. He's pacing around on the phone, getting up, sitting back down, moving fast. So I take out one of my AirPods, and I hear him say, "I did not go to Notre Dame. I did not get my degree at Harvard University to have to deal with this shit." And at first I'm like, yo, did he really just say that? That has got to be the most condescending, pompous statement ever. And the first thing I think is, can't you just have a little humanity and be nice to people? But then the second thing I think is, what type of guy says something like that? Because clearly whoever he was talking to in that moment did not make him feel important and validated enough. And that caused him to get all upset and emotional and in his feelings. It's pathetic. It's weak, right? But I think all of us have to stop and take a look in the mirror, because all of us have this tendency to really care about how other people perceive us. It kind of reminds me of this very embarrassing story. This is back my first year of university, actually the first Friday night. Me and some of the guys from my floor in my dorm, we go out to this frat party. It's in this basement in Boston. And I see this girl and I start talking to her. I'm like, this is the new David, man. The high school David who couldn't talk to girls, he's done. It's my time to shine. I'm talking to her. It's going well. I keep talking to her. A couple hours later, we're walking back to the dorm. She happens to live in the same dorm as me. I invite her up to my room. She's on my bed, bro, straddling me. We're kissing. And then all of a sudden I realize, hold up, I'm a virgin and I don't know what to do next. And I freeze. And then it starts to get real awkward. 2 minutes pass, 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass. I'm just sitting there. She gets up, kind of cringes at me, shakes her head, and walks out the door. And I was so embarrassed and ashamed. I just felt like a loser, man. I honestly wished in that moment that I never even tried to talk to that girl, because that would have been less painful than what I had just experienced. And the craziest part about it is this. A couple weeks later, my friend who was out that night, Nika, I'm talking to him and I tell him that I didn't actually close the deal with that girl, which is funny because I hadn't told that to people because I was kind of hoping they would just assume that I did. And he was like, "Oh shit, bro. All of us thought you were this confident badass that just pulled a girl back the first night." And that made me feel so fucking good, so proud. Like, these people thought I was that type of dude, man. I was on top of the world. And looking back, that was actually the worst thing that could have happened to me, because it gave me this fake validation. And at that point in my life, I cared more about the fake validation than actually improving my life. And that caused me to not even try and put myself out there again with women for the next 2 or 3 years. All because I was trying to protect this image of how other people viewed me. But now I have a question for you. When you think about the different areas of your life that you want to grow in, which of them do you feel the most fear around? Maybe for you, it's women. You don't feel like you're capable of attracting the level of girl that you truly desire. If that's you, I'm willing to bet the story you're telling yourself right now, and this is the same story I used to tell myself, is that I'm just focusing on other areas of my life right now. I'm not even trying to date. Maybe you want to start your own business and reach financial freedom, but you haven't been able to do it yet. If that's you, I'm willing to bet the story you're telling yourself, and I told myself the same story, you're telling yourself, I'm not prepared yet. Right now, it's a smarter decision to stay focused on working this safe job. And then when I'm ready, I'll take that leap. Well, bro, do you see what's going on here? I feel like you might be starting to connect the dots in your head already, but you're telling yourself a convenient story, a story that allows us to protect this fragile self-image. Because here's the thing, if you actually started putting yourself out there with women, or if you actually went all in on that new business and you failed, the girls weren't interested, the business didn't make any money, then other people might see you as a failure. And what that would then prove to yourself is that, fuck, I actually am a failure, if that's how other people see me. And bro, we will do anything in our power to avoid that confirmation that we're a loser. It just feels so much safer to be the guy who's not even trying. But here is the inconvenient truth that took me way too many years to learn. True self-improvement does not start. You don't actually start making any progress on your goals. I made no growth in my life until I finally stopped protecting this image of who I was and stopped caring so much how other people perceived me. So of course, the question is, how do you change this faulty programming so that you can start living your life like a man instead of a boy who's so worried about other people's opinions? Well, I can tell you there's two things that I had to do. The first one you might have heard of. The second one, it's a bit odd. So number one is exposure therapy, and this is a practice they actually use for people with serious phobias. Some people can't even leave their house. So at first they'll have them just look out the window, then maybe go open the front door, but they don't step out. Then the next day they take one step out, then two steps out, then before you know it, they take a lap around the block and they're out partying with the homies. Partying with the homies. For me, I had to challenge myself to approach one girl per day no matter what. At first, I just asked for directions. That's easy. Then I would give them a little compliment. Hey, those are some cool shoes you're wearing. Where do you get those? And then after some months of doing this, I was finally comfortable enough to actually express interest and say, honestly, I just wanted to talk to you because I thought you were cute. And that worked, but only to a certain extent, because I think if we're being honest with each other, we both know that it's human nature to care what other people think. And maybe it goes back to the fucking prehistoric days where if you were an outcast to your tribe, you were just gonna go get ripped up by a bear and torn into fucking shreds. Like, the reality is, I'll probably always give a fuck what other people think about me to some extent. However, you get to choose who those people are. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You get to choose who the people are that are judging you. And the trick here is to stop giving a fuck what losers think about you. Losers being anyone who's not obsessed with growth. And I know right now you're probably like, wait. I didn't actually start improving until I created proximity with other people who think that trying and failing is actually fucking badass. In other words, the winners in life. Right now, if you open up Google and you type who missed the most shots in NBA history, who do you think that would be? The guy with the most fails. It's Kobe fucking Bryant, bro. The winners are addicted to taking risks, putting themselves out there and failing. This finally clicked for me when I met the homie Dave. We started hanging out, spending more time together, and then when I'd go and try and approach a girl and get rejected, it was fucking badass. Dave thought it was cool. Now it was actually cool for us to get together and film YouTube videos. And this is back in 2013 when almost everyone thought you were a weirdo for trying. And it's not that I didn't give a fuck. It's that I gave a fuck what Dave and these new guys I was starting to hang out with thought. Like now, if I didn't approach a girl, then they would judge me and think I was a loser. If I didn't keep creating YouTube videos, these guys would look down on me. It's honestly this fucking wild realization. And it really reminds me of last week when we were in Houston for the Beast Nation event. Seeing all these guys who'd never met each other before in person get together and just push each other and challenge each other to grow. You saw that shit in the different competitions they did. But what you did not see is that even after the event, these guys got together and they went out to the bars and the clubs to talk to girls. Some of the other guys got together and filmed content after the event. And it just reminded me of the first time I connected with Dave and how that changed everything for me. Think about this. You are the direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group. So basically, what your circle, what the people around you expect of you, that's what you're gonna end up doing, whether you like it or not. And when all these guys were meeting each other, they kept saying the same thing. Even though we just met today, it feels like we've known each other for the last 10 years. Like, that's how it fucking feels when you meet other men who are also obsessed with growing, which is literally the main reason that I created Beast Nation, which, by the way, right now you can join for only $1. Now, of course, Beast Nation also gets you direct access to me, weekly calls where I can give you feedback on your situation, and step-by-step modules to help you launch your first side hustle, grow your YouTube channel to the moon, master your dating life, optimize your body, and get fucking jacked. But what these guys in Beast Nation seem to value the most is having access to an endless network of men who are on the same path. So if you're watching this and you're happy with exactly where you're at and you're not looking to push yourself and challenge yourself and grow, then honestly, don't join up because you're not gonna fit in. And again, right now you can join for only $1, and that is gonna cover your first 14 days. So you can see what Beast Nation's all about. You literally have nothing to risk. You can come on one of the calls with me. You can hop on the live interactive map and find other members that are in your zip code, so you can meet up with those guys in person already. So if you're thinking about this, now is the perfect time to take action because this offer expires in just 3 days. Just go to thebeastnation.com or click that first link in description to join now. So to recap the video, there's nothing wrong with you, bro. All of us care deeply what other people think. And for me, that fucked me for years because it prevented me from going after these things that I know I wanted to go after. It kept me single and lonely, feeling powerless with women. It kept me, pursuing a career path that I didn't care about because I was afraid that if I stepped out and tried something different, other people would look down on me and they'd see me as a loser. And the only way I got past it was by taking small steps that were still scary, trying to talk to girls every single day. That built some momentum, but also by changing the people that were around me, because then I started to care what those people thought. And at that point, I was afraid if I don't take action and take risks and put myself out there, these people are going to think I'm a loser. And I don't want that. So I kind of tricked myself into using it as a superpower. And then eventually, I will say, once you craft your own path for a few years, you do start to naturally care less what other people think because you've validated yourself from your own achievements. If you're fired up and motivated to push yourself, then I recommend you watch that video next. In that video, I compete against 6 of my subscribers in real life in a variety of different competitions that tested our masculinity. It's gonna get you fired up to keep growing. So click there to watch it now, and I will talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.